All right, good morning, Bruce, with Targeted Wealth Creation, back at you for BITO and YBIT. Let's jump in here. So what happened yesterday? BITO was down 3.05. It looks like in the pre-market, BTC is up a little. Even BITO is bidding at 25.58. by 63, 61, I think. So that's up 15, 18, 20 cents from its 25.43. And YBIT was down 3.51, so we went down a little more than they did, which can certainly happen, but we've had a trend of where we weren't going down as much. Of course, it's 2 days, we were down 0.9 and they were only down, oh sorry, that was better, they were only up 0.27 and we were up 0.9. So anyway, that's the scenario there. There were trades, they got more shares bought into, and differently than Coney seems to be setting on the money, and YBIT is selling calls like crazy because they make a bunch of money on the call. But they got this liability building up. They'll have to roll either this Friday or the following week at expiration. I'll explain that all to you. So here's the shares, right? They went up 50,000 shares. For them, that's a fair amount because they've just reached the million. And the day before, they went from a million to, so they went up 125 and now another 50. So you see it's bringing in a little cash with the change. And so they sold, the day before, they sold 1,000 contracts up at 27. This time, in order to get 30 cents with 3 trading days yesterday left after that day, they got 30 cents, but they had to drop it to 25.50. And it was a little lower than this close when they did that. So now that it's come up, that's very close, 0.28, right? But I assure you it wasn't 0.28 when they sold it, but we look really good for the calls because look at these. 3 of these are 27.5, so you know they're by far 98%, or well, there's 1,000, but still they're 90-something% of the calls. So we're looking pretty good. Let's look at the synthetic, and I'll explain to you what I mean here. So again, we're way down at 25, we've been only as high as 29 since the YBIT fund has been there in BITO, but we used to 36. So these 2 calls today upped our cash from like 2.4 to 2.7, right? Because this other portion of the money, we're up to 7.8 collected, but this was the May money, right? That was used to pay the last distribution. Now, I'm seeing more and more. Remember I said why Yieldmax really, they frustrated me because they didn't pay near what I thought. It seemed like they were really holding back. Well, it was obvious that they were holding back because they're still writing these calls where we only spend $780 and we collect $423. Well, that has to end up in a liability unless you're really moving up aggressively. But they've been moving down slightly along with BITO. And so they're winning on their weeklies. They got all this money in the piggy bank from being paid, but they got this 8.5 million liability, right? Unless they get up to near 36, like 34, 35, then this stays big. And they'll have to roll it, and then that'll hurt them. But I think we're still going to get paid. It's just that's why they were holding back, because they've been writing the 36 for quite a while. They had a 26 and I think they had a 29, but they've been in this 36 going back to 517. So I think it was a strategy to build cash in the account, and they paid us, you know, at an 81% yield. It's not like we weren't getting any money out of it. It's just I was seeing all that cash build up and say, hey, they're going to pay half the cash. Well, they didn't, right? So I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just telling you what I saw. You know, it's always an estimate and a guess. It's not up to me to make the payment. Okay. So we're down to 1842, 2543. It mimics what we saw. Chart, we're still looking in this bull flag, right? I mean, nothing's changed. Bitcoin is 68.4 or something in pre-market. So we really just want to be above 66, 66.5. Yeah, we're 68.160. Now, expect some swings with the Fed and CPI. I mean, CPI may be in. I can never keep track of all. Maybe it's 8:30 Eastern, then it comes out. We got 11 minutes, but I'm trying to do these videos and not watching that right now. Okay, so on the weeklies, these are fantastic. Well, 6% is quite a ways. Remember, only 3 trading days. 12, right? So I really like this one. This is the bulk of the contracts. And then here, we're only 7 cents, but it's a small amount of contracts relative to the others, right? This is 8,000, this is 400. So pretty small, right? 5%. So not too worried. But that's the scenario of all that cash. Let's go over holdings a little bit. So we moved up, right? 125, and today it was only up 50 versus yesterday. And so this number is going to be like a 175 number there. So 4.26. Now look at these weeklies, and we're going to talk, we've collected and earned 75% of all the money. Only this guy that we wrote for 22 when it was lower and then it moved up. So that 25.5 looks awful. We closed at 24.43, but just based on time and price and looking at the options, it probably was a low 25, maybe 25.10. And we got 22 cents with 3 days, and then it went clear up to 48 because it got so close, right? You're always going to get that. But we're not bothered by these 27s and 28.5s and 27.5s at the moment. So it's all in the Fed's guidance and CPI, basically. This doesn't reflect, let me update one field. So this is now 21674873, and drag that down, and I should, okay, there's still quite a delta, right? I've got the right share count, I got the right asset value, and that's what happens when you get a despair. Oh, I didn't bring this to today's date. All right, we are targeting the thrills we get as a YouTuber and a spreadsheeter. So it's only, we're 3 cent discount. When you get a big gap, you almost know you didn't update something. So here's this big 8.8 liability, right? And we're setting, whoops, this is a 536. I just looked on my second monitor on one of the fields. It's a 5.3. All right. That didn't really change it much, but that's all right. Whatever this one is also saying, 8831, that's because I copied this number. So let's put an 03 in here rather than paste it. All right. So that's the liability that I'm referring to, right? If we close this position out, we'd have to spend 8.8 million. Here we're golden, other than this one today, and we've got to be over 25.5 to even be bothered. So, and then we have so much room in these others that we can run, and we gain it all and we only lose some here. So this is looking good. But I want to see this because we've got this week, 3 trading days, and all of next before it expires, right? I didn't put that in this one. I need to add my days to expiration that I've done in all the other ones, and I didn't do it in this one. But it's obvious, right? When you're dealing with a 621, or sorry, these are weeklies. So I need to do it. Oh, there I did. Duh. So 9 trading days, right? which is all of next week and the 3 trading days today. So 9 days to expiration. It just does a subtraction. This stays on today's date. It updates itself with a formula, and then it subtracts this to get to how many days. So the point being, you mix up your weeklies and your synthetics and where you put things. So the end result is, look how far underneath we are. So we can collect money in the piggy bank, but it's time that we fix some of this stuff up, because that is a liability out there. It's big, but let me show you. Okay, so we're kind of done with weeklies. I think I covered everything here. This has progressively, slowly gotten worse, right? A 6 million deficit, 6.2, 7.8, 8.8, the number should be. Yeah, it is, sorry. 6, 6.2, 7.8, 8.8. Okay, so when we look at payouts, remember how good and I fine-tuned something that I missed here. But you see why I thought we were going to get 250 plus. We had $6.66 we collected and 5 cents here, right? So the total was 666. So we didn't get it. Now we have 291 altogether, and 53 cents of the 291 is over here. But we're looming is an 8.8 loss that would go here. So that makes this a 5.8 loss. So we get 53 cents here, and spread out over here, that's about a 480 loss. Now, they're still going to pay us, even from the money carried over last month. But just understand that they knew it was down. They didn't know where it was going to go. And if this went really well and the synthetic went up close to it, then they would just still have a nice reserve. So let's see how it plays out, okay? And a reminder, this is thinly traded. It's not quite as bad as it was early, but these are thinly traded when they're new funds like this. So don't ever put a market order in. Always put a limit order in. All right. So most of you know that, but just in case there's somebody new. That's what I got for YBIT. Let's, I love the fact that they're collecting money. I know how easy it is. They may roll at the end of this week. I honestly doubt it. I think they'll save it for the very end, going right up to 21. And then they're going to probably come down, depending on where we are, to something like a 28 or a 30. It all depends on where BITO is. It looks like they're using the month. It'll be interesting if they just go to a 719 or whether they go out 2 months. Okay, some of the new funds like this and using BITO, they may only go to the 719 from the 621. So that'll be an interesting dynamic as well. Okay. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Have a great day, trading day, working day, off day, golfing day, relaxing day, whatever today brings to you. All right, see ya. Bye.